Welcome to Honestly Reddit, and today we'll be talking about your favorite pizza cutter, Roller Brawl. If you're new here to Honestly Rated, we're going to take a look at Roller Brawl, at her design, overall gameplay, and moveset just to see how balanced out she really is, and all those core factors of fun, and making sure that it doesn't feel stale and moves overall feel like the same thing, just kind of with a different slap of paint. But before we jump into the moveset, I do like to talk about the lore of a character, and Roller Brawl is honestly a pretty unique one. So she has 5 brothers, and you're gonna have to keep that to the side. And she is the smallest and youngest one of them all. And she decided she was gonna really take a learning to using her rollerblades and stuff like that, because she is the most smallest. Everybody else is like fucking big and like a lumberjack size. And because of that, she got into roller derby. And during a championship, Chaos fell over heels for her, which is pretty funny. I didn't know the guy actually felt love. And because of that, the brothers came and stepped in and be like, yo, you're kind of like evil, and he said fuck you and took them all. And because of that, Rollerball went to go fight, but there was a whole Drow army. She couldn't fight them all, and she still hasn't found her brothers, but joined Skylanders just to actually try to find them and fight evil, which is, you know, pretty unique. Usually it's like they do beat them up and it's all happy donkey dory, but Rollerball, a little bit more of a cheeky one, and I like that. One last thing that I also like to mention is that if you want to see your Skylander potentially and honestly rated next, just leave it down in the comments. I pick off a popularity, maybe what I'm feeling, or just trying to spice things up from game genre. You know, plenty of things we can choose from, and I'm planning to go through all of them. And if you want to stay up to date which ones I've done, you can go check out the playlist, which gets updated every single time at every Saturday, because that's when I upload these, and maybe put on notifications if you want to make sure you really stay up to date with these things. But other than that, thank you for watching, and let's go see how good Roller Brawl can really do in the ring. Starting moves mean a lot, and she starts off pretty strong with Roller Claws and Derby Dash. These two moves have really nice symmetry with each other, and that is something I personally like seeing, especially right off the rip. So, the Claws, it's a simple primary attack with a 1-2-3 punch that does pretty solid damage. You know, for a core, that does mean a lot. And then the secondary is honestly where things get a little quirky, because this is going to be like realistically the key of Roller Brawl, and that is her dash. It leads into 2 different options where one, you have her pizza cutter legs do like a quick slash that hits a wider margin than I would say the headbutt, which is her secondary, and you activate these by pressing either square or circle, whatever your primary secondary are. And the headbutt is actually the main point, because for one, it pushes back. Pushback is always good when there's ledges and stuff like that. But the main thing I like about it the most is that it sets up for really nice combos. And something that Roller can do is that when it comes to attacks, and you know, most guys can do this too, is that when it's like a primary attack, it like pulls into that enemy. And it leads in for a lot of special things. You can do a dash right after, and then you can do the pizza cutter legs if you want to. You can do another headbutt, launch them even farther. You can just roll up and start slashing on them. You can do whatever. So it's very nice to set that type of symmetry right away to get really in tune with it for later. So yeah, they're pretty good. Next move we have up is going to be the other special, which honestly adds even more. Now there's many reasons why Skate Blades adds a good amount. For one, it's a projectile. It's not a far-reaching projectile, but it's still a projectile that honestly takes out a good amount of the back half of an enemy load. And Roller Brawl, I wouldn't say can't deal with a big area of enemies, but she definitely has a harder time if you're trying to like hit all at once, you know? Even though she does get those pizza cutter legs and can do like a quick like fucking slice at the neck, it's not really damaging enough to like kill a lot of things at one time, right? And that's where these roller skates kind of come in. You can kind of hit everything in the back, and then as you slowly work your way through, everything in the back gets a lot weaker, everything in the middle is still semi-weak, and everything just kind of starts to pick off. Another reason I like it is because if we go back to the headbutt, which again, is going to be the key to all this, with the headbutt, you can do a headbutt into launching your roller skates at them, and then go in for, I don't know, another headbutt. You can do another pizza cutter leg slice. You could do a bunch of things. Anything that we have so far, which is not a lot, but a good amount, you could do. And that's amazing. Again, I like that. I like when there's symmetry in there. I like it just all flows together. You just feel cool doing it. You just feel like you're using everything. So, yeah, this adds a good amount. Again, solid damage comparatively to one of the characters that we had before. That their projectiles was kind of meaningless. I'm not going to say who, but you can go check out other videos to see who. So, yeah, nice. I'm glad this is the second one, or the first upgrade that we get to buy, because it's a mighty fucking good one. So, let's go check what the back half of the primary set got. Now, the next two I want to mention is going to be Impact Skater and aggression. And the reason why is that these are just two upgrades that maybe could have been put into one single thing, which is just upgrades. They're just dealing melee damage and physical damage to moves that are done with the dash. And again, you could say that you can put them in one. I would agree with you. I don't know why they really need to split it, but they didn't. And honestly, the added damage doesn't hurt. Roller Brawl is not, I want to say, the strongest of strong, right? She's a core character, but she isn't weak for a core character. And just adding more damage and at least not being in the secondary pass is pretty nice. I like it when it's using the primary. Just keeps it right there, short and simple, added damage. And if they do more, it's gonna be kind of annoying, but I'll live with it. It's not bad, so not really much else to say. I do enjoy the added damage. Now for the last move in the primary path, we have Deadly Clothesline. This is a pretty straightforward move, where when you hold down Derby Dash, you'll be able to do a clothesline, presumably. This doesn't have any special effects. It's just simply a pretty fast-paced damage dealer. It deals roughly 21 damage at level 20, and I personally like it. I really like the slowdown of the effect. So obviously there are characters, and from what I heard, it's like every single character that's not an Imagineer has this type of slowdown. It kind of varies to depending on a character, I would say. And with this slowdown for Roller Brawl, I don't think it really affects her too much, and I actually really like when it's done with this clothesline. The reason being is that it actually slows down the enemy at the same time. Now, it is a risky play, obviously, when you have someone out there that's having projectiles or a big heavyweight that can hit you from a good mile away. It's pretty risky to continue doing it, but if you have a lot of characters that are kind of running up at you, a little fast-paced, you're usually fast enough to kind of get past them at the same time as just kind of clotheslining them and going a different direction. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's, simple. I like adding new stuff, and this is definitely an add. This doesn't really feel like anything that we have so far. It's pretty far range. It can kill, chompies pretty quickly. And, when it comes to hold ability moves, it isn't that long of a wait. There are some characters that have a way longer hold time that is just unbearable sometimes, but pretty good move. I can't wait to see top, bottom, see what that adds. I'm hoping it's not a flop because this whole beginning has been really fun. I can't lie. I have a lot of fun. On to the top path called Shadow Skater, we're going to be dealing with Pirouette. This move feels pretty similar to what we just learned previously with our clothesline. Reason being is that there's a lot of similarities, right? It's a charge move. It's a charge move for our pizza cutter feet. If you do it and hold it, you'll do a nice pirouette. It kind of reminds me of our previous character we just rated, which was Big Ol' Pot Fizz, specifically the Supercharger version. And I definitely like this one better than that one. This one does actual damage, roughly 20, a little bit less, 1 hit point less than the dash, surprisingly enough. And the only thing that I can see it's an upside comparatively to the dash is that it is faster, technically, right? If you do a normal dash and then go into the pizza cutter and then hold down just to do a spin, it is technically faster. I think the damage is overall the same speed, but just getting into the motion is quicker. And I do have a lot more benefits to it, but it only applies to when we get to the last move, so I don't really want to spoil that, so I'll leave it there for now. It's a fine move, but the reason it's fine is because it's basically the same as another move, but slightly faster in alteration and how you do it, and it makes more sense when we get to the final move, so let's just continue on. Lucky for you guys, we get to talk about that final move with Hardened Helm and Bull Rush. I'll talk about the Helm first. The Helm gives us extra defense, which is really smart because this whole top path is really being up in people's faces and using the combos of the abilities that they give us to take out every enemy possible, right? And just giving us extra defense is smart. Roller Brawl is a frail character. She does have a good amount of health, but is frail. She can get hit pretty fast and take a lot of damage because of it. So I am personally the very smart move with that. Then we get to talk about Bull Rush, which is honestly the final puzzle piece that you find under your couch after building the whole puzzle itself and putting it in. It's like a beautiful moment. The reason why is that Bull Rush is the only move that doesn't take you out of Derby mode. Derby mode is taken out after every other move. This is not. Bull Rush allows us to just do a Bull Rush. It's basically a headbutt, but faster, and it just leaves us in Derby mode. And the reason I like this is because, for one, when we go back to Pirouette and Clothesline, right? Clothesline can only be done when not in Derby mode. Pirouette is done in Derby mode, right? So, when you're doing Bull Rush that takes you out of it, it's very nice to have the same type of feel, right? with our clothesline with pirouette. They're basically the same thing, but one can only be done at different times. And you can begin with a clothesline, go into a dash, and then go in back to back your pirouette, and just kind of have like that same feel. You can go into other different things. I like that, and that's the reason why I'm going to give pirouette a little bit of a pass comparatively to other moves that I've heavily based off of before, where I'm like, oh, it's a little too similar. I don't really see the much use of it, and I would have given pirouette basically that same treatment if it wasn't for what I think it's supposed to contextualize, which is being basically the same thing as clothesline, but being used at a different time. It just lines up perfectly well. Hopefully I was able to explain that pretty well. I get a little tongue-tied sometimes, but overall, top path, I really like a lot. And to the bottom path, we're going to deal with our little foot spikes, which really didn't get a lot of upgrades. So if these upgrades are good, we can maybe give it a little bit of a pass in the primary. But let's go check that out. On to the bottom path with Skate Blade Siren, which is dealing with our skate blades. And the first one we get is the trap. Now, if you didn't notice from the primary path or the top path, we didn't get a derby mode variant of triangle, or our special that we learned first. And to some, you might think that's kind of weird for not being the primary path, but I'll let you know. There's a good reason why they didn't put it up there, and I'll say it more at the end of this path. But to contextualize what this move is, it is a trap that you place behind that keeps enemies in and does a miniature explosion at the end that does 20 damage. Now, I like this trap a lot. For one, obviously, keeps enemies in. That's really good when it comes to bigger arenas, where Roller Brawl, again, doesn't really succeed super well, but she can deal with. And just giving us a safer option to kind of put a little bit more on one side than the other, and just kind of deal with the front face load. Always nice. It even works well with the blades itself, just the normal, like, launching them. Because if they're stuck in one place, you can just freely launch the saw blades, which are pretty fast projectiles, at them without worrying them getting closer to you. That's super good. I like the detail, 1-to-1. It's super fun. And again, it gives you a triangle. It gives you a whole trifecta. You got the pizza wheel slice, you got the pizza wheel little trap, and you got your headbutt. So what is there to hate? You got like a bunch of moves in one. It's super fun. So other than that, I, again, like it. And I promise you, these next two are just going to make it even better. Just like the top path formula, we have Critical Claws, which is an upgrade, and Spinning Saws, which is a pretty decently cool upgrade. And again, I think this works really well. Critical Claws give us critical chance increase, which, if you think about it, the two moves we learn are about just kind of dealing damage at shipping rates. So, giving us a critical chance increase for the traps and for the Saw Shield that we just learned. Very smart. Like, what else can I say? Other thing that we get is that Saw Shield. And I really like this a lot. It just adds a lot of flavor into the mix. Because now, our feet can do a shield into a trap. And you can put a trap down, put the shield up. You can headbutt people, go at them, throw saw blades at them, put the trap back up. You can just keep spamming that bitch if you really want to. Put more traps down. It's a really fun dynamic. And the shield, like, doesn't really... It's not like something you have to really pay attention to other than when it falls off. Which, I won't lie, I wasn't that great at. But I promise you that my gameplay is not something that hopefully you would do and you would get better at. And remember a lot more than I did. But it's fun. It's cool, and I really like the duality of the two paths because they're similar in structure, right? First one is like an upgrade. Second one is like a actual upgrade where it just kind of increases something that actually matters to the path. Then the final one is something that's kind of insane, and then the first one adds to the third one. Like, it's super fun in that sense. And this is a character that I would say you could go with both paths and have a blast. I really like the saw traps. And the reason I think that the saw traps weren't placed in the primary is because what else can you do in the secondary? If they were to place the saw traps in the top path, I really don't know, or the first path, primary path, I don't know what else they really could put in here to make it feel a little bit warranted. I like that. And if you want to play with them, you can just pick the bottom path. And if you want to go with the top path and just kind of bully everybody by fucking ramming your head onto everyone and slicing their necks open, you could do that too! It's fun. And if you don't own Roller Brawl, I'm just saying right now, I'm not giving a rating. It's a high likeliness that you should. But let's go look at the Soul Gem and see how everything else compares to that. Last to the party is going to be the Cursed Helmet as her Soul Gem. And honestly, even though we've been seeing some incredible shit from just her secondary and primary paths, I won't lie, this is pretty worthy of a soul gem. This allows you to make a soul link of sorts with the enemy that you basically headbutt for a while until either they die or again, like it just kind of ends. And anytime it hits through a separate enemy, they will get 1 hurt. But for 2, they'll go boing. And I like boing because obviously boing does a lot of things. It allows you to set up for other things. And I could say the whole list again. Set up our different combos, throw shit, place down your traps, whatever fucking path you pick. Like it gives you the opening, and that is super good. Roller Brawl is a very much rushdown character where after you get that opening, you can do a lot to that character. You can place a trap down, you can get the line activated and ready, and just kind of sit there and do even more damage to the enemy you have stuck in that trap, especially if it's a bigger enemy. And you can just keep making the same enemy go boing if you really want to. The possibility is yours, and I really like that. But I'm gonna go take a look at everything again, make sure I, cross my T's, dot my I's, and give you a rating of what I feel Roller Brawl should have on Honestly Rated. Alrighty, so after going to my local rollerblading rink and, taking a good amount of time to think about Roller Brawl and what she puts on the table, I'm ready to give you my rating, and that is going to be a 5 out of 5. And I can go through the list one more time of what I really like about her. I honestly don't think she has really any negatives about her. I think her combo game is fun. I think you really use everything at certain times. I think her top and bottom paths were both different, but really unique in the sense. Like, they were very much similar on the same, way that they were built, but fun, right? Top path, a lot more bullyish, a lot more in people's faces, trying to just kind of get things done quickly, while also having the defense upgrade to make sure you're probably not losing as much life. While the bottom path, it's a lot more conservative, right? You have traps that keep enemies away from you. You have a shield to kind of do some chip damage, hopefully kill things a little quicker. And you also have critical chances to raise those chances that the trap and the shield that are doing a lot of chip damage, a lot of fast damage, can deal damage quickly and quicker if the crit chance boosted works. And I find that to be amazing. I find a lot of things that Roller Brawl is amazing, and I see why my sisters liked playing her so much back in the day. Not because she was a girl with pink hair that looked really cool, it was because she was absolutely fantastically made. And my pea brain couldn't understand that when I was younger. I was like, big guy, I can't be shown wearing pink and be the girl. I'm a guy. But now, I'm going to shed that sexism that I had when I was a kid and tell you she's a 5 out of 5, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. It's been pretty fun. I might actually just kind of keep her on rotation of my Skylanders when I just play casually, because this shit's fun. I can't lie. But let me know what you think of Roller Brawl. What has she done, and what maybe some other things that I kind of missed and maybe not put together that makes it even better. Let me know. And again, also let me know what Skylanders you want to see next. Check out the playlist if you want to see more of my Skylander shit, because it's pretty cool too. But other than that, let me just say thank you for watching to the end. It's pretty cool that you got here, and I enjoy that you enjoyed what I put out. So thank you. It means a lot, especially when you comment. That means a lot more too. Thank you, and I hope to see you next time on Honestly Rated every Saturday. Peace.